couples. Happy weekend. And let me get Coney for you, one of the last ones. So let's jump in here and see what Coney did. All right, Coney on Friday went from 214 to 218 and or sorry, coin went from 214 to 218, so 1.58. We did a little better on Coney. We went up 1.66. So let's talk about there were no shares bought, so no more synthetics put on, but they did a nice capture of pretty much all their money, like 97, 98%. Probably even 99. When I put the new values in, I get rid of the old ones. So 3 cents, 3 cents, 3 cents across 28, like 30,000. Okay, so excellent, right? They got 8099 out of 8183. They got 324 out of 327. They captured 285 out of 288. So just awesome, awesome. Um, this gave us that opportunity because these were all written at 235 and 230, right? So we were well below. So everybody played it correctly. Now we had written a 227.50 800 contracts earlier in the week on the 10th for the following week. So on Friday, when we rolled out of those 30 into another 30,000, we went all out at 230 and we got 279 for the bulk. And for 1,065, we got $2.88. So nice job. So that's another 800, or sorry, 8,379,000. So this money was already shown as captured, so we retained 99% of it or so. This is new money, right? And this one was already written. So now we've got new money. So we'll go out in a minute and we'll look at the weeklies. Not a lot happening. I didn't even fill out the little treasury amounts because it's not really relevant when you don't sell any shares. Um, Therefore, you don't put on any synthetics. You just roll out of your weeklies into new weeklies. And it's always nice when you capture them all. So let's look at the weeklies. There's the 30,000 altogether at 230. Even though we had different prices, when we look at them here, we just want to know how far out of the money are they, right? So not a big deal there. They're 5.5%. I mean, I can't say it's totally safe. It's Bitcoin is up at low 60s now as I look um, early Sunday. So we shall see if this is looking pretty good. If you follow the news out of Germany that they sold off, I wasn't 100% at the time knowing that that's really the reason. I mean, a lot of times they throw things at what the rationale is, but it does appear when I heard that they had sold the last of what they needed to sell. Um, that makes me feel a little bit better, and I do see it recovering. So I'd like to see a 1 and 2 days over 60,000 to feel somewhat comfortable that we're in that upper tier. We really need to get above 61 and have several days there before I think there's even a probability of going back to 50 or 52. Okay, guys, so let's jump into the rest of it. Um, and we'll take a look at, we covered the weeklies. Excellent. Let's go look at holdings. That always tells us a lot. So no shares added. Boy, they have a lot of shares. You know, when I'm doing these other funds, even AMZ, YBIT, even Misty, I mean, I think Misty's got 17 million now. Some of these, I think AMZ had 7 million. I'm trying to remember why bid 3 or 4 million. So 35 is a lot. It's just the share price isn't that high. I mean, Tesla's got more. NVIDIA has the highest market cap of all, but that's because it's 28, 29 on its stock price. And when you add up its share count, which I think is in the 40s, so Tesla has by, I shouldn't say by far, but has the most shares outstanding. It's just their price is sub 20, right? 16. So their market cap doesn't go over the market cap of NVIDIA. Okay, so from the YIELDMAX funds, that's why I was talking. So on the synthetic, with this move up, we are moving in the right direction. Look at our chart. Chart tells you everything, right? The loss is shrinking. So with this, and it wasn't that big of a move, but it just goes to show you. So we only have a 32.7 paper loss. We had a 42.9 paper loss. And then previously, before we dropped, we had a 27 and a 24. So we could easily get back to that as we climb up near 20 for Coney. I would say right now, based on where Bitcoin is, if we open on Monday, Misty, Ybit, and Coney are all going to be up fairly well, right? Should see a nice rise if this sustains itself. If it gets even higher, it's even better. But who knows, right? We got over 24 hours to see on that. So let's look at payments because we clearly picked it up some money here, guys. Oh, I know what I didn't tell you. Let's talk about fair value. So fair value, no shares bought, right? Again, as a reminder. So fair value is 1901 based on the outstanding shares and the net assets owned. So 3 pennies. We're 3 pennies overpriced, guys. Don't you dare buy this thing. It's just not on sale. I'm kidding. Okay. So now we can go into payments and see how we're doing. Um, so we've got, I mean, we're getting back some. This really helped. Look, we collected 99% of the money, and then we added 8 point, what did I say? 8.379, right? 8,379,000. So that's super positive for us. So when we look at payments, we're at 17. Now, I did a little math and I said, okay, in this recovery process, now remember, if this thing opens and Bitcoin this week goes up to 61, 62, 63, then we're going to run pretty well past these and we're going to get hurt on the weeklies, but we should make some money over on our synthetic. Um, but I don't know if it's going to counter it. I don't know if we'll have a positive amount of money altogether. We'll see. Because remember, we had this big loss over here to start the month. So this is positive, but we still have an 80-cent loss when we look at everything. So what I was going to do was I was going to run 3 more weeks worth of 9 million times 3 because that's how many weekly writes we're going to have going into the next declaration. But knowing, let's see, what is our expiration? 8/16. Okay, yeah, we don't have to roll before that. So back to this scenario, 3 times, call it 8.5 is 25.5. Well, if you add 25.5 to 17, you get to 42. So that's about $1.40. But it may be difficult with a week like this, right? So that's pretty positive. So I don't fear, guys. I think people, a couple of my longtime subscribers said to me, Bruce, should I just sell my Coney? And I hadn't answered, but hopefully Steve and Paul and some of you other guys that were asking, Coney's going to be fine. As long, Bitcoin needed to recover. Look at Ybit. It was down in the low 15s. I mean, it's Bitcoin, right? It's not these funds. That's why Tesla had a reverse split and went down so low. It was simply the underlying, right? The underlying always dictates. Why is NVIDIA the GOAT right now? Just take a look at NVIDIA. It's so straightforward. But even given that, when the stocks are running, the fund managers can not execute correctly and can cost you a little bit of revenue. If they just execute and stay on the ball, you're still going to make money because your synthetics are going to run when the underlying runs. And sometimes you're going to lose the weekly. They can't execute away from that. But when we have a chance to actually take it off the table and get an 80 or 85% gain, and they just let it run through the day and we end up with a 200% loss, to me, that's unacceptable. That's not risk management. But no more on that. I'm done. But I just make that point. And it all came out of trying to explain to you guys that if Bitcoin recovers, I think we'll be just fine in Coney. Okay, guys, that's what I got for you. Have a great rest of your weekend. See ya. Bye. Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Bye for now.